Okay. I wanted to get into some stuff that you don't speak on a lot. I don't think you get asked about it a lot, but I wanted to talk about the Dramacydal album a little bit. Um, so with this album, it was an album that I believe you guys worked on when Tupac was in jail after the quad shootings thing, and there was one song in particular that you performed on the album, but it was written by Tupac, and it was a song called "Interview with a Problem Child." Can you speak on that track and how that came about with Pac writing it?
Well, basically, Dramacydal was a group that, consists of myself, Edie Castro, and at first Gaddafi was in a group, but then, I think he went back to Jersey, and Pop wanted to continue with the album. So we did a deal with Interscope, with Pop sent us out to California. My first time going to California, and Pop was in prison when we started to record this album. So the song "Interview with a Problem Child," Pac wrote it for me because he wanted this song to be very just from my background, coming from the streets of New Jersey, coming from the hood, and Pac used to say that you had this problem. I was like a problem child. You know what I mean? Where I had this innocent looking face, and that's what Pac used to say. You look innocent, but you wild. So I wanted to write this song for you. So it was something that he did, and he wanted to do. Eventually, he wanted to do an interview, a video, where it's like the lady interviewing me, or the man interviewing me, and do a video. But of course, we was never able to release that album because soon after he signed to Death Row Records.
Okay. And then another song on that album is a song that you guys had with Tupac called "Late Night." I think the first version is one that Stretch produced. Is it true that after Tupac was in jail after the quad shooting, that he asked you guys any song that Stretch produced or did anything with, I want you guys to go and get it remixed, and then so for "Late Night," Mosey ended up remixing it. Is that part true?
I believe that's true. I do know. I can't really speak like the exact songs that he made us remix, but everybody know that when Pac came home from jail, when he got shot while he was in jail, him and Stretch went their separate ways. So of course, the business that he was dealing with Stretch before getting locked up, he didn't want nothing to do with it. They just he cut all ties with Stretch.
Okay. And I believe that album was advertised to come out on Interscope slash Out the Gutter Records, which was Pac's label. I wanted to ask you, did you ever hear Tupac discuss or bring up Out the Gutter Records after he got out of jail and was with Death Row?
No, no. After Pac got out of jail and went to Death Row, um, the only record label or record that I heard him speak about was either he was going to do Euthanasia Records under Death Row or Machiavelli. I get confused which one it was. You know what I mean? I believe it was Euthanasia Records. So he was going to do a distribution deal with Death Row, Euthanasia Records, and the first artist was going to be the Outlawz. But I think he stopped dealing with the Out the Gutter, from the time that he came home.
Okay, because the only reason I asked that is because there's somebody who claims that Tupac was never really signed to Death Row Records, that he was still on Out the Gutter, and that Suge was just his manager. So I didn't know if you had any insights into that.
No, it did. That sounded like a strange statement because how you gonna release an album on a record label if you're not signed? You know what I mean? Um, you got to get permission to release any songs that you're on. You got to even have, people don't know when you're in a recording studio, we used to sign the splits automatically. The splits have the record labels coming out on, the splits have, the producer, the writers, and we used to have them around the studio. Everybody was signing them. Pac was signing off the splits, so that doesn't make any sense at all.